Every small town has a story, and we're here to shine a light on the people, places, and moments that make ours unforgettable. Welcome to the Small Town Bold Stories podcast. On today's episode of the podcast, we talk with one of the owners of the venue at Robert's Family Farm in Guston. And we talked about how at the age of 18, they started working in a retail store in a mall, and how that transpired into 15 years of retail experience, thus leading them to create the venue at Robert's Family Farm. And we also heard the stories about how they give back to the community. Let's get into it. Welcome to the podcast, Ben. Thanks so much for coming on. Why don't you tell us about yourself and what business you have and just a little bit of background about it?
Absolutely. So I'm the business owner for the venue at Robert's Family Farm.
A lot of people have heard of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, we're trying to get out there with some marketing and different things. But so we started that in 2020.
It was a great time to start something like that, wasn't it?
Well, it was a little difficult at first. You know, we didn't anticipate a global pandemic.
Yeah, exactly.
I always kind of joke when we're doing tours and stuff because, I opened a business where we're supposed to have people gather and have events, and that was a time where obviously we weren't allowed to even stand 6 feet from one another.
Yeah,
so
crazy time.
Yeah. So not the most perfect time to start a business for us, but we got through the construction process, which, as you can imagine, during that time was also a challenge. But got everything built, and now we've been open for 5 years now. And
Crazy.
I didn't count. I should have counted before I came, but I know we've done like about 110 weddings now.
Wow.
Since we opened in 2020.
It's definitely a family affair too, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. All ages. Yeah, absolutely. And really, the help and support from Rhonda Roberts, Kevin Roberts, the family being a family business has been so helpful, for them. So
Sure. Cool. Well, let's get into the speed round. So favorite book or podcast? It can be current, historical. I know you've probably got a podcast, I think, because I think you listen to them all the time.
I do listen to a lot of podcasts, so that one's tough. But I would say I have to answer this in a few different parts. I'm sorry,
fine.
it's not a speed round on that one for me, but
okay.
The other one we can speed through. But so I would say podcast-wise, early on, one of the first ones I kind of started listening to was called Bigger Pockets Podcast.
Yeah,
which
I've heard of that one.
I'm sure, any kind of realtor or anybody in that kind of business usually has listened to that one before. But there's a guy on there, Brandon Turner, and I've read all of his books about rental properties, about all that stuff. So that's probably one of my favorite podcasts, was Bigger Pockets. But they also focus on personal finance, which I'm also very interested in. I think, I love listening to Lex Friedman. There's lots of different ones to listen to, but I love comedians. I like listening to their podcasts as well.
Well, comedy's never a bad thing.
Oh, yeah, I like all those. So,
okay.
Yeah. And then book-wise, Rich Dad, Poor Dad was probably the first one to make me kind of get into like the business mindset. That was probably one of my favorites to kind of make me think more entrepreneurial. So
I see. You have to check that one out. So if our hometown had a mascot, what would you say it is?
That's a tough one. I mean, we could always think of Me County Green Wave, because that's just what we're traditionally used to. But I mean,
I thought you'd say something like with a pumpkin.
That's what I'm saying. I live on a pumpkin farm,
exactly.
So I want to say something with fall or pumpkin. But I'm going to say goat.
Okay.
Because
you've got goats on the farm.
We have goats on the farm, but we just opened in our the yard. We opened a slide. It's 150 foot long. It's called the Goat Slide. So.
The Goat Slide.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's pretty awesome. So it's one of the biggest in the state. So we're really happy to have launched that last year. So this year we're adding more to that kids area. So we're excited to, share that with the county as well.
Okay. Theme song. If you had a theme song, what would it be? You've got to have one. I know you love music.
You're asking somebody who writes and records and listens to music so much to pick like one. That's like asking like your favorite movie, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at answering things like that, but it would be either a rock song. It has to be a genre for me, or metal or a rap.
Okay.
I can't pick. It won't be a country song. I know that. That's about it.
Yeah. From what I know, you're not a country song guy. So.
Well, no, I like all music. I respect all of it. I love all styles. It's just a matter of what I just would put in my,
put in your ears and listen to.
Yeah, so that's a little different, but
cool. So your background is kind of interesting. you didn't necessarily grow up like on a farm like where the farm is now.
No.
Like you were in retail. So tell us about that and kind of like what that taught you, and where it kind of led you to today.
Honestly, I'm glad you brought it up because I would not be a business owner without my background in retail.
Okay.
When I was 18 years old, that's when I started college. I started a job at The Buckle
Okay.
at Jefferson Mall in Louisville, Kentucky. And it was just a mall retail sales job. I looked at it as a way to earn some money while I was in college and also to get a discount on clothes.
You're always dressed sharp, I feel like.
Well,
so.
thank you. Well, at that point, I was in a rock band also. So I was on stage. I was doing a lot of things. So I needed stuff for
Like
concerts and different things. Yeah. So getting a discount was really helpful then. But I had no idea that it was going to teach me all the things that it taught me. So I worked there through definitely through college, and then ended up being promoted directly after college into like an assistant management role. Then they recruited me to be a store manager for the company. And I just didn't realize how lucrative something like that would have been
I feel like
early
a lot of
on.
people probably don't realize
No,
like that is.
the way the Buckle treated it as a manager, you're actually part owner of it. So you would
really?
own, a certain percentage of the profits of the business in addition to your salary. So that gave me
skin in the game.
Yes, absolutely. So it motivated you in your salesmanship. So, I got really interested in tons of books on sales or even just leadership books. And, they required you to read leadership books in order to, be able to recruit and lead a staff of people. I eventually worked my way up from a store manager after having success with that to an area sales manager where I was in charge of 7 different stores and between Kentucky and Virginia, Tennessee. So I was traveling quite a bit.
Sure.
And once again, I had so many people from Buckle that taught me how to lead, how to sell, all the skills, even of course all the background of the store and how to run a store, how to do payroll, just different small things that help me, that I've taken to apply to the venue now.
What you're doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. So if it wasn't for those guys, inspiring me, then I wouldn't be able to do this for sure.
Yeah.
I was, that's 15 years there before I ended up leaving. So
wow. So you had a lot of experience in a lot of different roles starting from us.
I never thought I was going to leave.
Up.
And that's a thing too. I have a lot of people like, are you glad you left? Blah, blah, blah. No, actually, I loved my experience there. I would not change that at all. It taught me to do what I'm doing now. So there's definitely, I still love that job. I still help recruit people to shop there, do whatever, because I feel like they help me so much. So, I still currently, have a good relationship with everybody there.
Did you think was that it? Or did you always want to have your own business like you have now? Or did it just kind of work out?
Yeah, no, the original plan was the venue was going to be a weekend project for me. It was going to be in addition to my job. Okay. I quickly realized that's impossible with this type of business.
Yeah. I do it right.
Yeah. And really, I'm so invested in, the clients that we have as well. I want them to have a wonderful experience. That was one of the things too that Buckle taught me was have some kind of mission statement or something for your business that's not just open a business and just kind of, you're running the books. It's more of, you have a mission and you need to inspire people that work for you to kind of help uphold that mission. And, I just really want to have an amazing environment for people to, have a memorable experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the biggest day of somebody's life.
Absolutely.
That's one thing I've seen is you're always about the experience, even if it's the little things.
Absolutely.
They go so far and really make a difference with people.
Yeah, I mean, from the tour, when somebody's coming for a tour, I want everything to be spotless. I want them to have a good experience, even if they don't go with us for maybe their wedding, but their perception of the property as they pull into the driveway, that might be something for them they might see the pumpkin patch, the Christmas tree farm, other facets of our business that they can still come out and visit us for something else, or they might come out for another event. So the experience when somebody pulls down, into Robert's Family Farm, I think is one of the most important things for us.
For sure. So how did the idea for the venue actually come about?
Well, marrying my wife, Lindsay, and her living on a pumpkin patch and Christmas tree farm, I've always been interested in business. But I'm not a farmer. So that's not something that I've ever done. So I'm not super experienced in that area. So we both love throwing events, planning, and me just having a business background. I've always wanted to have something like, some kind of business. And we've always thought that a wedding venue on a family farm is a great business plan.
Sure.
And it took us years of talking about it, years of planning, and just having that concept in mind until, we started having kids. And I was like, we were living in Louisville, and I thought it would be a great idea to pull the trigger and open our own business on the farm while I'm working at the Buckle. And like I mentioned before, that didn't quite work with running both of those businesses. But yeah, we just thought that owning a business in Meade County on the farm would be great. And, for us, I think, having another option in Meade County to facilitate events, I thought was a wonderful idea as well, just to add to people's experience as they come to the county.
Exactly.
Our goal is not to just help, couples in Meade County, in surrounding areas, but we're thinking, Louisville, Indiana.
People from all over.
Absolutely.
That's what surprised me is people from all over come to the venue.
Absolutely.
Kentucky.
And, something that was really important to me too, we do offer now an all-inclusive package that I'm excited about. And, my goal is using all local vendors. So not only is, as people are coming from Louisville, Indiana, and, they're coming to experience the venue, they're also experiencing Meade County, driving through the area. They're doing rehearsal dinners here. They're doing different things. So we're bringing hundreds of people here every Saturday. And also, if they're doing all-inclusive with me, I'm using and utilizing all the local businesses for the events as well. So I'm trying to do as much as I can to help build traffic into the area, but also build a network of all the businesses working together to facilitate some of these events with me.
Because that's what makes the area so unique is everybody's always trying to help everybody, it seems like. And even with these people coming as well, like they're spending their tax dollars here and it's helping from that aspect too.
Absolutely. And it blew my mind really. And, thinking about how unique Meade County is about, with business owners, because everybody's welcomed me as a business owner, all the other business owners in the county. And it's just been amazing the support from, even when I throw charity events, for instance, I do an annual car show every year and I donate all the proceeds, all the profits from that, to a different charity every year. And the support that I get from the local business owners to help donate money for trophies, to help with advertising, to even just come to the event to support it, has been incredible. And it's I think that's very unique because, I ran businesses in Louisville, like I said, in other states, and to have support like that. No, absolutely not. So, and we're only 45 minutes from a large city, so it's kind of a cool spot, I think.
Just to kind of get away from the hustle and bustle a little bit. So.
Absolutely.
So you talked earlier, you built it in 2020. I can't imagine trying to build a venue, let alone opening it with COVID. So talk a little bit about like those struggles and like how you overcame those.
Well, I think the initial struggle was literally construction. I mean, just getting parts.
Materials and everything.
Yeah. Also, estimates were from the previous year, not from the lumber shortage.
Craziness.
And also custom sized doors, things like that we were putting in the venue because of the height of the ceilings, things like that were all custom orders. So everything was delayed, basically.
Sure.
But we did get everything tidy enough to have our first gathering and wedding in October of 2020. Our first event was actually a beauty pageant it was kind of like a test, like we have this venue, let's do our first kind of event, get the flow of everything, and it went really well. But still, that first year we had limited,
just because of the rules and everything going on.
Yeah,
probably.
Which, we were able with us having overhang doors, we were able to open the doors to make it an indoor-outdoor event to help keep, all the guidelines that we could uphold
Space
for that. Space everything out. So, it was a struggle. We had our first few events. We only had a few events that first year because of COVID, but also, when I was trying to give tours, we didn't have a building. So all the people that signed up with me first, they were
to sell something.
They were selling. I was selling them a concept. So it was really difficult to just be like, hey, this piece of paper is what it's going to look like. You want to give me some money and do this deal? So it was a difficult process. Now, tours work a little differently, but But then I had to get a little more creative.
Sure. So tell us about the venue itself. Like, how big is it? How many people can you typically have? Like, just for somebody that hasn't been there, kind of give them an idea of what they might expect.
Absolutely. It's 6,000 square feet. So absolutely. We offer, tables and chairs for up to 250 guests.
Okay.
Now, we have had larger events than that, but that's just what we have available for guests to use, but they're welcome to bring extra tables, chairs, things like that. We have a attached kitchen. We have a fully stocked bar and it comes with bar staff. That's included in the pricing. I think the thing that makes us unique, when it comes to our wedding venue that separates us out is we offer an overnight accommodations.
And it's right there attached to it all, right?
Absolutely. So if you're coming from Louisville, you're coming from, E-Town, Indiana, anywhere in the area, and you are, after you're having the most perfect day of your life, trying to find a ride home or trying to organize transportation, things like that is not fun, So we did those on-site accommodations for the bride and groom that make it unique. We did open a Airbnb that's only 10 minutes away from the venue also to offer even more accommodations for people traveling from out of town. Because we noticed, not only does the bride and groom want to stay the night, sometimes the in-laws and different people like that. So we're trying to be able to accommodate all of this incoming traffic. And that's why I love networking with people like you who have property and other people that I can make recommendations for Airbnbs or for, our hotel in town or other options. But once again, to help promote some local businesses.
Makes sense. So the car show, you mentioned something about the car show. I know that's like a big part of what you do, and just like that community giving back and all of that. You donate a lot of those proceeds to charity, but kind of give some background on how that came about and why you wanted to do that.
Absolutely. Well, I definitely have to give credit to my dad for this one. My dad has always been into, he's always had a classic car, always been into.
What kind of classic car is the real question?
I think his favorite was always his El Caminos, honestly. Okay. I don't know what year. I'm not versed in all that. That's another thing. I'm now getting into those things that I wasn't normally, I wasn't always into. Yeah. I didn't have as much, disposable income to really think about having an extra vehicle or anything like that. So it was never a thought. But no, I love it now that we have car shows because I get to see so much variety, and I think the most important thing, like seeing all of these guys and girls get together and have that same passion for vehicles, and they're also charitable, and it's a cool community to be a part of and to help host some of these events. But in 2020, when we were building the venue, one important thing for us was having, a paved area for people to park, things like that.
You have a huge parking lot.
Yeah, and so that was, we paved this huge parking lot in the driveway, and my dad used to throw car shows, and he would have to go to find church parking lots, different areas that would allow them to use the space. And it's always hard because they're basically have to be closed for you to use that space, sometimes. So whenever I opened this, I was like, like this would be cool to have a car show. And what if, that would get people out here to not only enjoy each other's company with the car show, but we could have a different event. We could have food truck out here that's local. We could have, if people are traveling from out of town, they're going to be driving through Meade County again and coming out here, and they're going to see the farm that we live on that maybe they've never seen. This is also a good opportunity to feature the venue for people who haven't seen it. So if, they have somebody in their life that's getting married, they can be like, hey, we just went to this car show with this awesome venue. And so it's just a way for us to give back to the community, but also a way to help market different businesses in the community as well.
One that also kind of just pull different audiences for your business too,
Absolutely. So and it's fun. Yeah, it really is a great day for us.
They might get married, who knows?
Yeah, absolutely. And, I have done a signing from somebody who the reason they found out about our venue was because they came to a car show at our venue, and
that's never know.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool to see once again the networking aspect of all this. I learned from the buckle. Like, whenever you're meeting people, having a business card on you, just little things like throwing these events, podcast, different things can help everybody. So
yeah. So some of those charities that you've given back to, are they local? And you like tell us about that.
Yeah, we've done a bunch of different local charities, and then just this most recent one was really special because we kind of switched it up. So, usually, like I said, we pick a charity that means something to us, and we utilize that. But this year, I had somebody who worked for me for many years at the Buckle, also got married at my wedding venue. Her name was Kelsey Smith, but found out she got diagnosed with breast cancer last year.
Oh gosh.
And so, that's not a cheap thing to deal with.
No.
And she's just somebody who has always been, so caring and such a great worker for, with me. And so we actually donated all the proceeds to her to help with, paying for medical bills and things like that.
That's
So it was fun to actually give it directly to somebody versus just kind of like a huge charity where you don't really have that strong connection. So I don't know what we're picking next year, but we look forward to having another place to donate for next year. So
awesome. So you mentioned something about in October that you've got coming up. So tell us what that is and how people can get involved.
October, we have
October 11th is the day.
October 11th, we do have a pageant coming up.
Okay.
So my wife, she has been hosting some pageants at our venue, and they've been so much fun. And, with her background as being a former Mrs. Kentucky and
you're
all
former Mr. Kentucky. I guess,
more importantly, yeah, I'm Mr. Kentucky. We'll go with that. But no, she's super involved in the pageant world, and she's gotten our daughter involved with it. And us owning a venue, for us, it's like, hey, let's host some here on property. And same thing, it's another reason for people to come out to the property to check it out. It's another reason for people to come in town and use our hotels once again and come out. So for us, that one's going to be a really fun one in the fall. I can't remember the theme off the top of my head. You're going to have to get my wife in here on a podcast to talk about this, or even Rhonda and Kevin in here to talk about the farm.
You mentioned your kids and things like that. I think it's pretty cool to like have them on the farm, kind of growing up. They're like that next generation. So how involved are they? Or like they helping you some?
I am so proud to say this. Like, I'm so glad we did this podcast today and not 2 weeks ago, because my son just worked his first 7-hour shift straight planting pumpkins, and he's 8 years old.
Wow.
With his grandpa. So yes, growing up on the farm for them, I think is going to be awesome. I didn't grow up on a farm, but seeing how my wife, the work ethic, just the things that they can learn.
There's always
is super
important.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my son and my daughter, we come up with different things for them to work on, to do, and we pay them. And I want them to see the value of you have to work, and then here's a direct result from that work. Yeah.
What you get from it.
And so my son, after he worked that 7-hour shift, he bought his, light up keyboard and mouse he wanted for his PC setup for his gaming. So, but he was able to see, working and earning that money and then using it, now not having that money. So now whenever I was getting gas yesterday, and I was like, Adler, look at this. And I showed him how much I had to pay. I was like, that's you working this many X amount of hours for us just to drive around. So I'm trying to early on teach them as much as we can about, being smart with money. And that's another thing. Whenever you mentioned podcast earlier, I know we talked about like the Bigger Pockets, but like Dave Ramsey was a very big influence on me early on with learning to budget and learning, about debt. And so that was another thing that early on that kind of helped. But I read a book of his called Smart Money, Smart Kids. And that one really helped me think about how I want to raise my kids and their relationship with money.
Gotcha. Okay. So anything else that somebody should know about the venue?
If everybody could follow us on social media, I think you have all the tags for all that.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Because really, like, what's really fun, if there's some things that aren't booked, any dates coming up, anything like that, we always try to do something fun out there. We try to do a concert.
You've had a concert in the past.
Absolutely. We do different shows, different things. So we're always trying to do something new, something fun. If anybody has ideas for something they want to throw, I know like we've had a lot of shopping events, and there's other people that are renting the venue to have a shopping event. That's been fun to get local businesses out. So if anybody has any ideas, feel free to contact me if they want to do something. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So if we think about your dreams and like what's next for the venue,
Oh man,
What's like a dream item that you hope that you can do at the venue or make happen?
there's so much. I've known you for a few years now, Brian, and you probably hear how my brain sometimes operates with constant
Never
ideas.
shuts off.
Yeah, it doesn't shut
know
off.
the
So, I
feeling.
mean, if you looked at my notes section of my phone, it's kind of insane looking. For me, I want to slowly build the farm. I want to add businesses to the farm slowly, but also, if there's a great idea in town that I want to do, like I've talked to you, restaurants, different.
we had some conversations about things.
There's definitely some different things that I'm interested in doing. But on the farm, I would say adding different activities, adding more things for people to do, and then for the venue, I would say adding more lodging.
Okay.
I want it to be an all-inclusive and all-immersive experience for
have more people stay there and
bridesmaids area, a groomsmen area, overnight quarters for them. Like we would like to make it kind of even more of a weekend experience.
Gotcha.
Versus just like a day.
Sounds great.
Absolutely.
Well, maybe the community can help make that happen.
Let's do it, guys.
So, let everybody kind of know the best way to reach you, socials, all that stuff, and where you're located at exactly, and we'll wrap things up from there.
Okay. kyvenue.com is the best way to look at our website, get a hold of us. We have a link on there. You can message us on there.
Okay.
Facebook.
It's all probably linked on
the venue.
website.
Yes. I honestly just can't remember all the tags.
That's fine. Well, and we can put it on the show notes too, so it's no big deal.
Right here.
Okay. Yeah. Just click right
Yeah.
here. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on, Ben. We'll wrap it up there. We'll have to do another one with Kevin and Rhonda for the
Yeah, get Lindsay, get the kids on here, man.
Exactly. So it'll be fun. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Ben.
Absolutely, man.
So you've got a cool story to tell, something about our community that makes it strong and unique. You have a business, someone that has a really cool story about the history of our community or anything else. Well, we want to tell that story on the podcast. So do us a favor and visit smalltownboldstories.com so that we can tell that story next and you get to hear it. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Small Town Bold Stories podcast, brought to you by NextHome Chism Realty. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and we'll catch you next time with more bold stories from the heart of our hometowns.